according to me, which are going to be profitable in the next 5 years, and how you can start your venture in Canada. But this is one of the Canadian booming industries, which is definitely going to be a profitable business. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube video. Today's topic is really interesting. I'm sure from the title and the thumbnail you are able to understand that what I am going to talk about. Now, before I dive into that topic, I want to first say that there are guides that I've made of how you can start your venture in Canada, and you can click on the screen. You can see the link on the screen and click, and do watch both the parts of that video. Also, if you're interested in studying about the import-export business in Canada, I've made separate vlogs on that as well. And here on this channel, in this space of mine, I share all my legal knowledge, insights about the business experiences that I have had in terms of dealing with foreign entrepreneurs, starting their ventures or buying businesses here in Canada. And whatever experience I've gained during that tenure, I try to share here on my YouTube channel for my YouTube audience and family. So yeah, before also we start, I would like to emphasize few of the key points, and so that nobody is taking everything that I speak as a straight jacket formula for every industry. But definitely these industries, the 5 businesses I discussed, they require capital investment. So in my next video, maybe I can make a vlog wherein a cap of investment of $50,000 to $100,000 is there, and then I can tell you what businesses are good within that budget. But these ones are for businesses that you are looking to invest, or maybe when you move here to Canada or start a new life here in Canada, or just want to explore the investment opportunities in Canada of businesses, because of course it's a North American market and it opens your avenues to North American, especially US trade as well. So there are particular reasons why I have chosen these 5 industries, and I'm going to tell you why in each sector. Secondly, these are industries as per my experience. Of course, when somebody puts hard work and somebody puts kind of passion in any particular industry, besides the investment, and does proper market research and gets fully into that business completely, so there is no doubt that any other industry would also be profitable. And this is really subjective, but I just talk about data, statistics, forecast, and my experience, the environmental entrepreneurial experience I have seen here, the ecosystem here, and I just discuss on those topics. So don't take this as anything that is set in stone. You might have a different viewpoint to this, and I am open to it. You can put your viewpoints in the comment section, and if I think I have a point to make, or I can make further enhance any of my topics or videos I can make on it, I will definitely do that. So yeah, let's first dive into the top 5 businesses according to me, which are going to be profitable in the next 5 years. And maybe if you are thinking of an investment opportunity, or you're getting some business that is subsidiary to that kind of industry, definitely look into it. Do your due diligence, do your market research. I always say in all my videos, that's very important, because it's after all your hard-earned money. But also remember, if you have to get some kind of profit or some kind of investment return, you have to put in money, right? There is no other option, and I am sure as a business minded person you can understand that. So the first industry that in my viewpoint is the booming industry is the real estate industry. And when I say industry, I also mean the kind of other businesses that come under this industry. Now, of course, if you are a real estate investor, it's a different thing. But if you are a person who's homeowner, or who's a renter, then of course the real estate investment for your purpose is different. Then that is not investment for you. So firstly, it's very important to understand that maybe you are the end user. Some people are not the end user, and they are doing real estate as business. In fact, the global market trend of real estate is that it is always going to go up. Maybe you will have downfall, but still it is an industry in which, if you have the capital investment, or if you are a seasoned real estate investor, just not real estate investor, even if you are into, and when I say real estate, I also mean construction industry, I mean property management industry, I mean the real estate. Even there is an industry in Canada which I'm not sure a lot of people know, but it is one of the booming industries in next 5 years. is the real estate appraisal industry. The market share is really less, and the entry barriers are also less of this industry. I urge you to read about it, to research about this industry. Of course, it is like every kind of business requires certain kind of licensing, and this business does too. But even after going through all of that, if the returns are good, then it is an industry you can consider. In real estate industry, there is one more industry. If you are into real estate here in Ontario or in Canada, you can think of apartment leasing industry. A lot of investors in COVID bought many properties in terms of leasing out when the rentals are high, and today they are yielding good benefits, returns, and plus they keep looking at, when you are into real estate, you keep looking into things that what kind of areas are good for you, what kind of areas have good return of investment, what is correct right now, what is correct in next 5 years, because of course this is an ongoing study that you have to do about the market, and not just about real estate. Any field you get into, you have to keep yourself updated with the ongoing trends, because if you don't, then that can be a problem, because you may lag behind, and it's a fast-paced world, so everything will keep changing very soon, but still the basics remain the same. There is also another aspect I would like to comment here, is that you can have tech introduced in real estate. So that angle of tech to real estate, that angle of tech to any industry is now going to do well. When we talk about real estate, around universities area, student housing accommodation is a very lucrative business, and very less people have eye on that. If you want to explore that option, definitely do your research on that option, because it's one of the most I would say underrated real estate option, but at the same time it is very, very, very lucrative industry which you can look into. Of course, the second industry, you might have heard about it. It's just all over the place that Canada hai to trucking industry or transportation hai. But there is something called transportation and warehousing industry. Now, warehousing means storage industry. Trade and transportation since time immemorial have gone hand in hand. Of course, जहाँ पे trade है वहाँ पे transportation तो definitely है. So trade, the thing is that in 2023, the transportation industry itself was $1.3 billion industry here in Canada. So you can imagine the kind of market share it requires, and it has some key players. It also has some small industry players. You can do a competitive analysis in the business plan or something. But this logistic industry is like the backbone of Canada for sure, because the distances are huge. There is a lot of requirement for import, export. Then there are different kind of subcategories to the transportation industry. For example, there is specialized freight industry. There is if you have to you have in specialized, I mean, if you have to transport oil and gas, then there is a different kind of this thing. So you can also look into the specialized food industry as different, healthcare industry as different. And the best part is, after pandemic, big companies, they realize that it is better sometimes to outsource this to a third party. So there is a lot of outsourcing of this from big companies, logistics outsourcing from big companies to the third party players in the market. And that really helps you understand if you want to open a trucking industry or trucking business, or you have some kind of experience in any kind of logistics. Now logistics can also include freight, cargo and shipments. So yeah, that is also one aspect to it. But of course there are subcategories and you can research based on your background. But in my opinion, this industry is not going to go down. This industry is always going to be here in Canada, and this is a promising thing, but provided you have hands-on experience and you are there to manage this business. Also, as company moves, people they transfer themselves. Now after pandemic, you see a lot of people have moved from downtown Toronto to outskirts because of the property prices and all, and because the work from home culture is there. So that moving happened a lot in post pandemic. Then moving culture in general, this whole storage thing is a very booming business here in Canada. There are only few key players who are in the top notch of the market, but there are many small players, especially for moving, packing and warehouse storage. So you can look into any kind of franchisee or business available in this industry. Of course, do your research on that particular and analysis of that particular business, if it is suitable to your budget, time, where you want to live, etc. All those factors are keeping in, but it is a profitable business if done rightly. And also the market trend after COVID has been, again as I say, has been of outsourcing. So you can open your third party company and have tie-ups with these big businesses which are ready to, because they are so entangled in their complex supply chain and manufacturing, so they are ready to give it to third parties. Further, a small point to this is that you can also enter this. There are low entry barriers to this industry. Like, you don't really have to have a lot of experience or lot of this thing. You just have to have the right timing, I would say, and the right sense to run the direction to run this business. This business, it has less entry requirements. So even small, medium-sized people who want to enter this market can enter this market potentially. Now the third business, as pleasant as it might not sound to you, but of course when you are into a business, you have to see profits. That is the end goal of any business, right? If you have that acumen, then you will understand that waste management and remediation business here in Canada is really booming, because I'll tell you why. Now when it comes to the big companies, which are the market players, the big companies, they have a very particular share of their waste management cost associated to their waste management. Now they want to reduce this cost, because for the companies this is a nonsensical cost that they are doing already. So what in Canada the trend has become, and which is going to boom in next 5 to 6 years, is the waste audit. Now for waste auditing, the companies are hiring. Earlier they used to have an internal team for this waste management, but now because they want to bring the cost really low and they want to even complete the environmental responsibility that they have and reduce their carbon footprint, they are hiring this third party company, which are called waste management consultancies. Now what these consultancies are doing is doing absolutely data analytics, using sensors, cameras, using different kind of tools and machineries and tech, just to reduce the waste and give the company a waste audit report that okay, this should be the amount of food compost wastage that you can save by maybe giving it out to different solutions, that maybe you distribute this food waste or you sell it if it's a packed food, then you sell it at lower prices in the market, because food compost is mainly one of the major chunk of waste in Canada. So of course they give a lot of viable solutions for that, of how you can also have a decomposer or this thing inside the premises of the company, and then therefore you will have compost made from that food waste from the company itself, which reduces, by the way, a lot of methane gas, which is very harmful for the environment, as you know. So yes, all this waste management consultancy, if somebody has experience, if somebody has kind of knowledge about this, or if somebody is into data of environmental studies and is actually very passionate also about the environment, then you can look into this business. This business has a lot of potential, and it is not a very difficult business to enter, because there is less competition in this market as of now. The fourth industry that according to me is doing globally well but has a very good scope here in Canada as well, is the software industry. Now when I say software, I can divide it into many parts, but let's just say that Toronto is known for startups. It's the hub for startup industry. Second, because you get a lot of funding and you get so many network players here in Toronto. Montreal is very good for artificial intelligence. It has one of the best research institutes of the world, and Montreal, the government is investing heavily in artificial intelligence. They are trying to get the best people from across the globe. Immigration policies for such people have, they have made it easier. There are IT draws, STEM draws periodically, because they want people of IT, and hence this industry, artificial industry, for that place is Montreal. Then we go to Ottawa. There are a lot of government-backed startups and software IT cloud computing companies in Ottawa, which are set up because the government is also using them. The fourth is the video and augmented reality, that is video games, etc. Vancouver is a very good hub for that. So you have to do obviously your particular industry and specific research. I'm not a IT person or anybody, but I just know that IT in general has a lot of market scope growth here in Canada. The government is investing in it, especially AI. The government is investing a lot in AI. And you can make, whenever I say some investment or the funds are happening, you can make use of that. Of course, you it's not necessary that the moment you start you'll be eligible for it, but eventually you will be eligible for the grants, the loans, the help that government is extending towards these industries. And that's how you get to know about the economy of the country. A lot of people will say that market is going down, blah blah blah, but at the same time, people who are doing well, they are not even concerned about these market concepts. They are just focusing on what they have to do, because if the government is supporting, if you read the notices, the articles the government releases, what the innovation science department does, what the invest in Canada government does, so all these are departments which are easily accessible on the government website. Just you Google about it and you will get all the information. So these are particular sectors where you have to keep your eye on. It's no rocket science. I have also just done market research, data research, and have seen in my experience dealing with people that for some the food industry is really good, but for some, these are the generic, the ones that I'm talking about are the ones in which generally the market will also, you will have a push from the market and the government as well. Now the fifth industry, and I have not been able to elaborate in this video about all the industries because I don't want the video to be too long. But if you think that I need to speak or you need more details about any particular topic, put in the comment section and I'll definitely get into that particular topic and give you a more detailed review or more detailed analysis of that particular industry. The fifth industry for me would be the biotech and the pharma industry here in Canada. It has a huge scope, and if somebody has that background of pharmaceutical industry or biotechnology and life sciences, they should definitely see Canada as a very lucrative ground for them. Now, why I say this? The government has committed to already invested after pandemic 1.1 billion in the research of biotech and life sciences. Now, why did they do that is also a story, because of course in pandemic they realized that they do have the research centers, they do have the knowledge and expertise, but they could not make everything so fast, like they could not multiply it so fast. So if that was the reason, after that they realized, okay, if something hits again, Canada should be able to it should be able to sustain itself internally homegrown. So that is why they have spent so much and now committed to invest another $1.1 billion in this industry, total bringing it to $2.2 billion industry. Pharmaceuticals, when you say it's one of the most export this thing here from Canada to US, and then of course from India to Canada, and the margins are huge. Even if you see a small drug medicine, the margin if you compare to home country and if you compare to Canada, it's huge. So the profit margin, of course there might be intermediaries in between, but again if you get into that particular industry and if you have the knowledge, expertise, you will know how to save that cost as well. But when I say biotechnology, pharmaceutical, global market share of Canada is 2.2%. So you might as well want to take a chunk of it, or at least reap some profit and benefit out of this if you have the right industry experience. But this is one of the Canadian booming industries which is definitely going to be a profitable business. There are not only federal grants, there are provincial grants getting into this. Atlantic is doing something different for their companies there. Ontario is doing something different, Northwest Territories are doing something different. So definitely provincial as well as federal grants are there for this industry. I'm sure getting into the market would not be easy, but if approaching the right people, the right way, getting into just understanding the whole system and then getting into it, maybe buying something from in particular of this industry, or any ancillary research development, anything that you think you can contribute to, is one of the booming industry. And if I say industry, it doesn't mean always you have to do business. Maybe I'm also thinking that people who can do particular job in these sectors sectors are all, the options are also viable for them, because after all, if the industry does well, so does the employees. So yes, this is the basis of my top five industries that I think will do well in 2024 to 2029. You can have your own thoughts and comments about it, and just share that in the description box. If you like this video, do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, because I'll be making more such useful content for you, which is knowledgeable, which has market analysis, which in my opinion will help you in some way or the other. If you are planning to open your business here in Canada, start a new venture, immigrate to Canada, anything, so this is just gonna be the space for that.